Are you someone who's ready to start making that life changing kind of money? Well, you have to start taking action. Excuses aren't going to cut it anymore. Now, here's the truth. I can build you a perfect system. I can give you the clearest roadmap. I can even hand you a blueprint to sovereignty. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you're not someone who's willing to take action, then that life changing money, that life altering money that you want to achieve, kiss it goodbye. Welcome to the next episode of America First AI. I'm your host, Asia Branch. And yeah, this is who I am now. I am the person who's here to share with other conservatives everything that you could possibly know when it comes to starting an online business. And I don't want to come off like I'm preachy or that I know everything, because reality is I don't. I am starting just like you. Here's the difference between what I'm doing and the person who's just kind of watching 1,000 different pieces of content. And don't feel bad, because I was just like you, watching 1,000 videos, not taking action. Okay. And I'm telling you right now, it's not a good place to be. You want to be the person that actually takes action. If you don't, you're just going to watch everyone else around you on social media. You're going to see a lot of young people. Hell, you're going to start seeing boomers and Gen Xers making money using AI and creating these online businesses. And honestly, this is why I'm here, to make sure that you have everything that you need. But I can tell you right now, I've seen it firsthand that there are some people who literally can be handed everything. I mean, the keys to sovereignty, financial freedom, and they just don't take action. Now, again, like I said, I've seen it firsthand. I've worked with clients who, are unemployed. I've worked with clients who ran a business for 20 years and then fit by starting something new. And I've worked with clients who have some level of expertise and wisdom to share, but never had a business of their own. They've either worked for somebody else or kind of the freelance thing, but they don't take action. And I'm going to go through different types of clients that I've worked with so far. And I'm just going to tell you now, these were the clients that I was working with in the beginning, like the very beginning of this journey of mine, not necessarily with America First AI, but just in coaching specifically. And this is before I actually launched my community. These were the services I was providing for people so that way I can create an offer, right? So I can get used to the idea of teaching people who were in a way behind me, right? So I've spent 9 months learning AI and learning different tools and how it can be leveraged in a lot of different ways. And first, as I said in the very first episode, I was the person who was totally content with just creating my animated podcast and, the narrative type ones and even your realistic fiction type ones. Again, you guys can check out the shorts for that. If you want some of that animated content here on this channel, let me know. Drop it in the comment section and I will have no problem jumping back into it. But again, action had to be taken that honored the legacy of Turning Point USA and the fire that I had in me, right? The divinity that was sparked after Charlie was murdered. I couldn't just do animations. So I started this America First AI. Now, I knew I was going to coach people. And the question was, well, what am I going to coach them? And I figured I would just share some of the insights, like I said, of my AI tools, the things that I knew how to do. And I thought, okay, well, what could I teach them when it comes to AI? I know how to vibe code. I know how to prompt engineer. I know how to create design briefs and I know how to generate images. I know what are the best tools for generating images. I know how to create, animated podcasts. I know how to get these tools to work the best way that I need them to, depending on what it is that I'm creating. So what am I going to teach them? And what I realized is what I was doing in those moments was coaching. I am leveraging my skills as an AI generalist and teaching them how to use these tools. But then there was something else that I realized that I was doing. I worked at a behavioral health clinic when I lived in the state of New Jersey. I said this to you all in my last episode that I am someone who got certified in motivational interviewing. Now, trying to see where is the friction that they're having in their lives, trying to see what are the problems and what are their goals. And while making them feel comfortable, you're motivating them to move toward their goals, to continue doing what they have to do to achieve said goals, right? And sometimes it will be unpleasant when you want to go toward that goal, but it will ultimately be the best thing, right? And that's pretty much what you do in motivational interviewing. And so while I'm working with some of these individuals, I'm realizing that's what I was doing. I was leveraging this skill as a motivational interviewer, plus my skills that I've accumulated this year as an AI generalist, and I am applying it to the very conversations that I'm having with these freebie clients. Let me be clear. The very first client that I was working with in this space, I should say, as a coach, as an AI generalist and a motivational interviewer, let's just call myself a startup strategist, if you will. I didn't realize that I was coaching. And I was really just showing this one individual all the different tools that they could possibly use. Now, before getting into AI, long story short, I was building out websites for people. I've made flyers for, different events happening in other areas. So marketing materials, building out websites is something I did, not a whole lot, not life-changing money, but little side gig, money. And so this one person that I was working with, I figured, okay, I could do the same thing for her. But then I saw other opportunities for this particular client. Now I'm going to start going into this one because she's probably my favorite client out of everyone I've ever worked with. And she worked with me on my money. She was a budget specialist. So why not go to her? And so in return, working with this budget specialist, she came to me one day. She was also on YouTube and she wanted to find a way to earn money online. Again, this is the client that was unemployed, right? And to this day, currently is, with the exception of working on her business. Now, she wanted a website. I built that out for her. She was selling, op-ed, access to op-eds and an AI generated podcast. Now, here's the thing. I trained her on AI at this point. So I trained her on how to use AI to professionally edit her op-eds. I also trained her on AI on how to prompt ChatGPT to generate images for said op-eds. I've also trained her on how to generate the perfect outline to get Notebook LM's audio feature to generate a podcast where the actual host actually opened the show. And so this was content that she put on the website that I, in fact, built out for her. Now she was using the AI tools that I trained her on. So again, I'm already moving, right? I'm doing a done for you service and I'm coaching. And you can consider this like an exchange, if you will. I'm getting, financial coaching. She's getting my AI and web design skills. That was our exchange in the beginning, if you will. As time went on, she's realizing that this business model, if you will, wasn't working for her. At this point, I was learning more about AI. Vibe coding became a thing where you can literally input an idea into any AI tool like Loving, Bolt, Replit. There's a lot more out there. There's one that I really like right now. I will touch on that another day. Anyways, I taught her how to prompt the perfect prompt, if you will, to generate what's called a SaaS, so software as a service. And it was like, well, what kind of app can we build? Now, literally one day I'm at work and I'm on the phone with her on my lunch break. And she and I are communicating back and forth. She's telling me about an op-ed that she was writing. This was an op-ed that was going to be released on the website, even though she knows that this is not the right business model for her because she's not earning enough. It's not that she wasn't earning, but it wasn't a living wage. And again, she was unemployed at this time. And so as we're talking about the op-ed that she wanted to write, what does she tell me? That this is the idea for the op-ed and this is what they don't tell us. She did all the research for this op-ed. And I said to her randomly, that might make a good app. She's like, what do you mean? I explained to her that there are tools that you can so-called vibe code and you can actually build out this software. Fast forward literally a few days later, she built out a prototype for this tool. Now we found better platforms since then, and she's been building out a much better software using a different platform because we'll go into that in another episode. Long story short, she pivoted from doing this I guess, paid content hub to making a SaaS available, right? So her plan was pretty simple. It was build out the software, publish it, and charge $15, for a subscription per person, right? While she was job hunting. Well, obviously, the economy, I know we love Trump. Depending on where you are, it's a little bit harder to get hired. And so she knew that it's going to take a little bit longer to get hired. So she needed to pivot, waiting for subscriptions to come in, because building out a SaaS, as scalable as it is, it's difficult to do. So she knew she had to pivot. We sat down again, we're conversating again, and I worked with her, coached her on making the pivot from just using the SaaS, trying to get these $15 subscriptions, and to actually start doing one-on-one offers. Fast forward to today. She listened, she made the pivot, and now she's outreaching. She's trying to do everything she can to get her first few clients. Bada bing, bada boom. She's got her first clients booked for discovery calls. You see, she was coachable. She hit a roadblock. It didn't stop her. She took action anyway. Right? Let me be clear. Life is not easy. Building business is not easy. I don't care how much you love it. Business is not easy. Life isn't easy. In fact, as you get older, life never gets easier. You just get stronger. Remember that. She got stronger. She pivoted. Any hurdle came her way. She was coachable. She took action. And now look at where she is. This isn't to say that her SaaS won't ever happen, but she actually took action. This was literally the very first client where I used motivational interviewing and my AI generalist skills. And I realized this is the business model. This is what I should be doing. But of course, I didn't want to listen to God. I was like, Jesus, that don't make no sense, right? Who's going to come to me for coaching? Who's going to come to me? Who's going to listen to me? Who's going to pay me $100 to hop on a call? Who's going to pay for a coaching course from me? Who's going to let me complete an assessment with them and create a plan for them and pay me for it? Right? Who's going to do that? So I'm just going to ignore him. And that's exactly what I did. Completely ignored him. Mind you, I had just worked with this client, right? On to another client. I got 4 clients. So this is not going to be a short episode. I got 4 clients to get through. You've already heard one that's actually taken action. Okay. Second client. It's a local business owner in the state of Pennsylvania. I obviously don't live there. I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm not in Pennsylvania. I'm in Texas. Okay. I'm officially a Texan transplant, if you will. Texas home. Side note. Anyways, so this was a client who's actually I've been working with on and off for a little over a year now. He came to me a year ago. As I told you, I've been doing, online gigs every now and again. This client came to me a year ago and said that he needed a website for a cigar lounge that he was opening. And so literally since last year, I've been working with this client on and off. I'm like your on-call IT guy, if you will. And he would call when he would need something updated, fixed, or anything like that. And so working with him, this is the kind of client who was, it's a nice way to put it. He's stubborn. Right. So he pretty much just came to me to build out this online presence for him for his IRL business. And that's okay. That was fun for me because that's all I knew last year. As time went on and this platform that I was using to build out websites, let me be clear, it is not Go High Level. I'm not knocking Go High Level, but I just don't care for some of the designs that come with the websites. I don't like that cut and paste kind of a look. I prefer to actually take my time and do certain things. Now, AI was available last year, so I still used AI to generate images for this website. So I knew how to use AI in that regard still. So AI was being leveraged there. Now, we were running into some issues when it came to some of the types of transactions that he can complete online. And again, this was an individual who was coachable. He was stubborn and liked to do things his own way. But as I was explaining to him, one of the major problems that he was facing as a business that is, a cigar lounge, certain transactions can't be done online. We had to pivot. He was coachable. And I told him what we could actually do to make that work, to make his online presence work. He listened. I've trained him on how to manage some of the aspects of the back end, right? The making sure some of the transactions are going through, tracking the members that are joining up with his platform when there's some kind of a change that he needs. Now that the cigar lounge that he's doing is officially opened, now he's going to be hosting events. So he would call and I would need to do things for him and I would show him how to do those things. Now this platform that I'm using has officially added on so much more AI that I was able to implement an AI chatbot into his website. I've explained to him how it works and I've coached him on these systems so that way he can maintain it as much as he can on his own. Whatever he doesn't know, he can always call me. But again, he was coachable. He took action. He didn't wait to launch the website. Like he literally launched the website when we knew we had problems with a particular transaction, right? You know, you can't complete this transaction and this is your business. This is a problem. He wanted to launch it anyway. And that's exactly what he did. Didn't wait to fix the problem, right? So what's the lesson here in this particular client, right? Imperfect action beats waiting every time, right? He didn't wait to have the right answer. He's like, it's better to launch this thing now before I lose my nerve and we'll fix the problem later. What was the lesson from client one? Niche plus action equals transformation. She didn't wait. She built it. She pivoted. She took action. There was no excuses. She just did it. This client, the stubborn client, the cigar lounge client, stubborn as all heck. He didn't wait for my input. He just took action. It wasn't perfect, but it worked out anyway. He launched it. And as time went on, we were working out the kinks, right? Because it's out there. We're promoting it. He's promoting it. He's talking about it. He's on his social media. He's talking about it. We have to make these fixes. There's no choice but to. That's the thing I love about these two clients is that they took action regardless of the hurdles, regardless of the imperfections. Action was taken. I got two other clients to go through, and this is where the frustration starts to come in. But you guys will start to understand why I'm telling you this, because if you want that FU money, if you want that life-changing money, you want that kind of money that says I work on my own time, then you got to put in the hours now. I can't stand it when people are like, "Oh, I want passive income." But have you put in any work to earn income yet? For your own business, I mean. Right? People want their money to make them money, but are you making money with your own skills? Like you need productive money first for your business before you start thinking passive. So this client, another entrepreneur, this one's a bit older. She's, I'll say, what's the nice way of putting it? I don't want to say, she's a double ARP member. Well, she's in that age range, right? Anyways, this is a client who's, pretty much almost 70 years old. And this woman has been a mother for 51 years. She's got a lot of wisdom that she could share to young women, to young men. There's just a lot that she has to offer. And in a conversation I had with her, she said that she wanted to start businesses and she's done ventures with other people. Like she's worked for one of her own kids' businesses before. She tried to work with another child of hers business that, but it's not her business. She's working on somebody else's time, not her own. And at that age, you want to do you. You don't want to do anybody else. You don't want to work for nobody else. You want to do you for the rest of your days. And so in this conversation with her, I'm telling her like, I can create something for you. I've done this with this client. I've done this for this client. I'm telling you, I can work with you. And so, she wasn't so sure. I did it anyway, right? We literally had like an hour and a half conversation. I'm doing motivational interviewing. I'm encouraging her to take that step, to take a chance. Like, why not just see what's possible, right? Why not? Because you do have all this wisdom to give. So for this particular client, I prepared everything. I prepared a 90-day blueprint for, for how she can get the business off the ground, right? And a simple online business just to start earning an income. Because you are elderly, there's probably Social Security coming in or a 401k income coming in. She's in a particular position where she wants and needs to bring in more income. I'm like, look, if this thing can bring you in even $500 to $1,000 extra a month, you're in a great place. You're in a great place. So this is something perfect for you. And it's not too heavy or over the top techie. So again, a 90-day blueprint to how to get the business off the ground. I created the workflow so she would know what the job actually is, what the tasks are, what this actually entails. I also actual business framework for her online business so that way she didn't have to figure it out, like what the business actually is, right? What her offer would be, how she would get the offer off. I even created, marketing materials for her to post on Instagram and Facebook. Now, again, she's older, so she really knows Facebook, and she's leveraged Instagram for a previous intellectual property that she's released in the past because she's also a singer with her own album. And so I've leveraged her own intellectual property. I used her own experiences, her own past to create this business model, this online business, this workflow, this framework for her. Created everything. In this blueprint, I laid out a very simple tech stack, right? Zoom, the very community I'm promoting here for myself, the school community. If she wanted to do one-on-one sessions, there's another platform that she can use. I'm laying all this out. I laid out the different types of offers that she could do. I even laid out 2 other options for her on top of the framework, 90-day blueprint, workflow, and marketing materials. I said, okay, I can train you on how to use tools like ChatGPT. And the reason why I believe that if you're going to create a community, specifically now, even if you're someone who has expertise or wisdom to share and bestow on younger people or people who just want clarity or healing or transformation in a group session, sometimes they don't know what to talk about. And so I offered to train her on ChatGPT on how she could use it to help prepare those lesson plans. In fact, I told her you should build. I can train you on how to build out your own custom GPT to do this, and you can do it yourself, or I can do a DFY thing, right? A done for you service where I build it out for you. And then you have this custom GPT ready to help you prep and prepare your lesson plans, any slides that you want to create to go with these lessons. And every Saturday or every week, once a week, every Sunday, whatever the day, you just go live. And this is done for you. The whole infrastructure, the entire custom GPT, all of it, I'll do it for you. She got excited when I was saying all that we could do for her. But what did she say in response? Oh, but I'm not salesy. I'm not salesy is what I got. I tell her all of this, that I prepared this, got the marketing material, got the logo, got the framework, got the blueprint, got the tech stack. I got all of this for her. I even got everything ready to build out this custom GPT. All she has to do is take the action. But she isn't salesy, she says, which tells me there's something holding you back. Truth about, the fact that she's not salesy. I'm like, okay, so here's the truth of the matter. Marketing and sales are related, but they're not the same person. Marketing is communication. Sales is conversion, right? And as long as you're communicating, people will come. People will come. We can make a free trial available when they experience the first one during their free trial. The conversion will happen, right? The actual payment will be made because they will love what they're getting from you because they got a taste of it for free. You just got to communicate. But even with everything prepared, me explaining the differences between marketing and sales, she still, to this day, hasn't taken the first step. What's the lesson in this? That I can literally hand you the map. But you still have to walk the road. Now, I know it's about fear. And fear isn't necessarily a problem. A person who's got fear is still coachable. Won't be easy, but she can be coached. But they have to understand that fear is not the problem, right? Not moving is the problem. And so as time goes on, I will let you guys know how that works out with that particular client. And now I have the other one, number 4. Client number 4. My gosh. This client's a comedian, okay? And this comedian, she's been wanting to get into public speaking. This client is about 51 years old. And she, like I said, wanted to get into public speaking, but she lacked clarity on what that would actually look like. How could she leverage her talent, her gift that God has given her in this industry of public speaking? So I sat with her, talked with her. And I'm like, well, what's the point of your comedy? Is it just to make people laugh, or was there ever a purpose to it? She says, no, the point was always to, edify the place. I actually have seen a lot of her comedy shows, actually. And every time, or a lot of the shows that I've attended where she was either headlining or just in the lineup, she always would say, I'm edifying the place, right? Offering insight, perspective, information, clarity in some way, healing to the audience. And so I provided her some clarity. I coached her through and literally showed her how she could merge her comedic talent with clarity-driven speaking, right? And like the previous client, I built out a 90-day blueprint, a full-out workflow, and a business framework that would work for her as an online business. Now, this is a woman who, even though is a comedian, doesn't like doing podcasting, right? She can't talk to the camera one-on-one. She needs that audience. And so I even came up with a marketing strategy too, actually, that would work for her. One was more of a kind of direct digital marketing strategy, reaching out to her personal network via social media, via texting, trying to get people in. Or she can do an audio podcast if she will, record, upload to Spotify. This way she's not on camera and she can just kind of talk naturally. It works better with her time as well. So I'm literally assessing what are the issues that you're having in your life right now that may slow you down or hurt you, that may hurt the schedule. What can we actually do? I'm literally working through everything. And I'm using the skills that I have as a motivational interviewer, and I'm leveraging that to really work through the hardship that she's having to provide her the best business plan ever. The workflow, the framework, the tech stack, another simple one. I provided her the marketing materials where she could start posting right away about what she was doing. And I said to her, now you don't have to wait for someone to call you to do public speaking. We're going to take this digital. I'm telling her, you should start thinking about using platforms like School. You can use platforms like Zoom or Google Meet. Certain amount of people can come on the call. You can do this for 2 hours. Well, I don't know what to talk about. What do I talk about? Oh, I can offer you one of two things. The same thing I offered the previous client I mentioned, where I can either do a done for you, where I build out a custom GPT and the entire infrastructure, get the account set up for Zoom or Google Meet. I can get your school account prepared and ready for you. And I can build out this custom GPT so that way your lesson planning is ready to go. It'll literally help you prepare for it, create the slides and materials, and I will teach you how to generate images and other marketing materials from ChatGPT and other AI. Or I can just train you to build it out and train it and do all that yourself. Of course, she's older. Of course, I expected her to do the done for you. Mind you, again, I am not charging any of these individuals, none of the 4 clients. Right? So now when I send her the blueprint, when I send her the marketing materials, she got excited. She was thrilled. She was motivated. But ask me in the comment section, this isn't a live, but I can just tell you, I haven't heard back. I follow up, I don't get a call back. I follow up, I don't get a text back. This is just what it is. And so what I'm getting is she wants this, but it's just not time yet. What's the lesson here? Excitement without action produces nothing. Sovereignty will never come from waiting for the perfect time. Now isn't the right time, is what I'm keep getting. Now isn't the right time. My life is too hectic. It's too busy. It's too this. It's too that. Everybody's life is that way. Like I said, starting a business is never easy. Life is never easy. And it never gets easier. Running business never gets easier. You just get stronger in life. You just get smarter in business. But it never gets easier. You're the one that's changing, not the business, not the difficulty level, in my perspective. Okay, so now why am I telling you all of this? Try and kind of wrap this up, right? I'm telling you all of this to say that you have to be consistent. You can't just say that you want something and then not take action, because your life won't change. If what you want is sovereignty, then you got to bust a move. I did. I hated my life in New Jersey. Oh my gosh, did I hate it? Especially under Murphy, especially during COVID. I could not stand my life. It was to the point where I just felt like the enemy was coming at me. I'll never forget this day. Being in my kitchen, my mom, my uncle come over to my apartment for something. And it was one of those years that we were shut down. I was working remote, and my office phone and my personal phone just kept ringing, and I was overwhelmed and I was burnt out and I was so stressed. I literally got up, go into the kitchen, and I'm like in this state. My mother follows me into the kitchen and she's like, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I don't know, but I'm feeling a kind of way and I'm feeling like this and I'm feeling blah, 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 blah." And it's just, I feel like I know Satan is after me. I just feel it. You know what my mother says to me? Pack a bag. This is why moms are awesome. For those of you who don't have a great mom like I did, I'm sorry that you didn't. But mine was awesome. And my God, am I grateful. Was I blessed? Thank you, Jesus. I had a great mom. Pack a bag, she said. And for like 2 weeks, I was living at my mom's house during COVID because I just couldn't handle it. She didn't give a damn about what they were saying about the spread this, the spread that. The hell with that. You're leaving the concrete jungle. It was literally during that time where I decided, the second I can get out of here, I'm getting out. This was during the time of the election where we were hoping Kari Lake would become the governor. And I was like, if she wins, I'm moving to Arizona. I'm moving. Now, Kari Lake obviously didn't win, which is why my behind is here in Texas. And it was the best decision of my life. I hated what my life was. I can continue to complain about it, or I could take action. And that's exactly what I did. My priority was to move. And I did that. Yeah, I was living in a house in the Oak Cliff area where there was all these crazy ass dogs and this one particular Cujo. But it was worth everything, because now I'm really recording this in my apartment. And when this is done recording, I'm headed to the balcony to chill, because it's still warm in Texas in September. Love it. Oh my gosh, just saying. I took action. The first 2 clients that I brought up, they ran into problems, but they took action. I didn't know what kind of a business I was going to start. I was in such uncertainty. But literally, it's when I made it to the 3rd client. Excuse me, I'll say the 4th client, because she really technically came 3rd, the comedian. She came 3rd. When I was working with her for free, I realized this is what I could be doing. I could be coaching people. I can be using my skills as a motivational interviewer. I could be using my skills as an AI strategist to help people build online businesses. Because look at what I did for the financial coach. A budget, she pretty much, she has a specialty that no other financial coach has. And that was the software that she was going to build, that I trained her how to build using vibe coding tools. And then I coached her on how to pivot when she needed to. I built that website a year ago. And then later, as time went on, I've integrated AI automations. I've coached this one particular client on how to manage his own back-end systems. I've included some automations for him that he can keep track of. When he runs into issues, he most likely will always call me, but he knows how to do these things because I coached him. It's not always perfect. He's stubborn, will do what he's going to do, but he takes action no matter how imperfect the decision is. He's kind of a guy that a decision needs to be made and needs to be made quickly. He'll make that call. He's coachable, and I coached him. And I realized I can teach people how to do this. This is why I want you guys to literally sign up for the school community, sign up for the America First AI community. I have these courses, I do. But that's not the benefit. That's not all you're getting, right? It'll definitely help you as time goes on, right? It's a good place to start. But every Saturday, right? This Saturday is going to be the very first workshop, and you have a 7-day free trial. So click that link that's listed in the description. It's listed literally on the home channel page. I even got a pinned comment down there, so you guys can head over there. Do the free trial. Check out the very first workshop, right? The Sovereign Saturdays. You guys, I'm telling you, if I can coach 2 of the 4 into taking action, and remember, it's not me, right? It's not me. It's the clients, right? It's people who want to take action. If you're the person who wants to take action, you see what I can do. I've told you what I can do, what I've done for all 4 clients, all viable. 2 of the 4 took action. I can design you the blueprint. I can prepare you the framework. I can even create the marketing content for you, but I can't move your feet for you. I can't. You have to want it. The client I was telling you about, that coach, the financial coach, yeah, she acted and she's booking calls. She's building momentum. The ones who didn't are still waiting. And sovereignty doesn't wait. Freedom doesn't wait. If you keep waiting for the perfect time, you'll be in the same time, the same place this time next year. Like, expect that. Take a chance, take the risk, take the step. Join the America First AI Launchpad community today. Again, it's $47 a month, but you do get that 7-day free trial. I would argue today is the best day to do it, because that free trial means you're going to make it to Saturday, and you're going to make it to that Sovereign Saturday workshop, where we are literally going to go through the first step, identifying the offer, identifying what skill you have, what passion, going through your history, how to do a self-audit of your own life and find out how you can monetize your own past. You went through adversity. How did you overcome it? Let's monetize it. Let's monetize the wisdom gained from having overcome that adversity. Take the course. You get access to a custom GPT that you can use to do the said self-audit. Sovereign Saturdays, you are going to get the accountability that you need. You're going to get the push that you need, and you're going to get the training that you need. Because like I said, sovereignty isn't about what I can build for you. It's about the step you are willing to take. Remember that. Remember that. 2 of my clients know it. The other 2 I'm still working on. And again, I'm someone who literally just stopped ignoring. I stopped ignoring Christ. I stopped ignoring what he was telling me. The first client, okay, it was just a fluke. I'm just working with this person because they offered me something. I've got 4 people that I've worked with. 2 of them took action. I've got testimonials. There's proof in the pudding. I'll probably bring on a client or 2. If I can get these 2 to take action, you're going to see them on the podcast too. Pray for them. Pray for my 2 clients who won't take action. Let's pray that they take it. But that's my time, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think that you're a kind of person who's ready to start a business but unsure of what that is? Let me know what skill you may have that you think you can turn into a business. Are you someone who wants to take action but are afraid to? Understand, fear is not the problem. The fact that you're willing to take action is a great thing. Are you the person who watches a lot of content trying to figure out what to do? Well, it's a good thing that you landed on this channel. Now head over to the school community for your free trial, and let's start figuring out how your past can be monetized. But that's my time. My name is Asia. I'm your host of America First AI. You guys are going to be getting 2 episodes a week. Let's see which days. I'm going to say you're going to be getting them on, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Let's see how that goes. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe, head over to this community. God bless you all. And until next time.